In today's video, we're going to talk about factoring by grouping, and this is useful when you have 4 terms. So the first thing you're going to do is check for a GCF. Second thing you're going to do is make sure the polynomial is written in standard form. And then you're going to group together the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. We're going to use parentheses to group the terms. So there's your factoring by grouping. Factor each parentheses using the GCF method that we discussed previously. And the answers will be the factor inside the parentheses multiplied by the sum or difference of the factors outside the parentheses. So this makes a little bit more sense when we see it work in action. So my first example, I have 3x squared plus 4x plus 6x plus 8. There's no greatest common factor here. So I'm going to go ahead and group this. So I'm going to group this into 3x squared plus 4x, those are my first 2 terms, plus 6x plus 8, those are my second 2 terms. So I'm going to start by finding the GCF of my first 2 terms, which is x. So that leaves me 3x plus 4. And then I'm going to find the greatest common factor, GCF, of my second 2 terms, 6x and 8. So my greatest common factor is 2, which leaves me with 3x plus 4. So then I can write my 2 factors. My first factor is going to be this matching factor inside the parentheses, so I have 3x plus 4. And then my second factor is going to come from the 2 pieces outside the parentheses, so x plus 2. All right, example number 2, 10x squared plus 15x plus 2x plus 3. Again, start by looking for a GCF, quick scan, and I don't have any. So I'm going to group this, 10x squared plus 15x plus 2x plus 3. Here I'm going to factor out my greatest common factor, and in this case it is a 5x, which leaves me with an x plus 3. And then here I'm going to factor out my greatest common factor, and this one's interesting because 2x and 3 don't have a greatest common factor. So their greatest common factor is actually 1. 1 is a factor of everything. So if there is no additional factor there, your GCF is going to be 1. So the 2 factors of this polynomial are going to be x plus 3. Sorry, 2x plus 3. I left my 2 off there. Silly. 5x times 2x is 10x squared. So my first factor is going to be 2x plus 3. And my second factor is going to be 5x plus 1. So again, first factor comes from what's in parentheses. The second factor comes from the 2 pieces on the outside. All right, last example. I have 4x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 10. No common factors. So I'm going to group it. My greatest common factor of 4x squared minus 8x is 4x, which leaves me with x minus 2. And my GCF for this piece, 5x minus 10, is 5, which leaves me with x minus 2. So the 2 factors here are going to be x minus 2 and 4x plus 5.